The Yankees beat the Jays last night, Maggie Gray, 6-2.
Moose wanted highlights. Get me highlights before the
highlights. Absolutely. You got to enjoy it. I'll tell you the other thing that worked last night. The rosaries worked.
Oh, good for you.
That's the other thing.
Yes.
That worked.
Glad to know there's not a limit.
There's no doubt about it. As the Yankees knock off the Jays last night, 6-2. Moose and Maggie with you. We've got you for the next 4 hours here on this Friday.
How many are you going to say tonight?
I don't know. Many. I don't know.
We got Moose's afternoon all planned out.
I'm not exactly sure.
Stop by St. Patrick's on the way home.
I'm not exactly sure. I got hockey after the show with the kids. Then we got some flag football practice. After that, I'll work it in before first pitch.
Find a quiet corner somewhere.
With Nestor Cortez on the mound. I get the kids some pizza, throw it at them, and go say some rosaries.
You'll see if you see Moose later at hockey practice sitting in the parking lot in his car talking to himself, you'll know that he's saying a couple rosaries.
What a night. I mean, it really is. The Yankees. Judge sets the tone early in that game after the bad performance by Cole the night before, giving the Jays life. The Yankees lose in the middle game. Toronto desperate for the win, and you're going up against what is, the favorite to be the American League Cy Young Award winner in Robbie Ray, and there is Aaron Judge, and John is obviously not there up in Toronto. The home run call doesn't really. I mean, it is one of the great shots that you'll see that's in Skydome's history. I mean, it is an unbelievable home run by Judge to set the tone early on in that game. And, the Yankees then fall behind 2-1 before you get the big Rizzo blast. They hit 5 home runs. They just have 6 hits on the night and score 5 runs. Have 6 hits and score 6 runs, hitting 5 home runs, Maggie. And the bullpen was good. I thought, maybe Aaron Boone, not maybe, I thought Aaron Boone should have probably gotten Kluber out before he did. The bullpen, which we've talked about, has been really, really good, but what a win. I mean, this team continues. The one thing you'll say about this team is that they have scraped themselves off the dirt numerous times throughout the course of the year and been able to get back up, been able to respond to it. Sometimes it's taken them a while to respond, but that is a big gut check victory last night up in Toronto.
It's funny because when Aaron Boone keeps saying, every time we've had these bad losses or we're in a corner, we always find a way to fight our way out of it. And earlier in the season, I used to kind of roll my eyes at that a little bit because I'm like, no, I'm just waiting for the next gut punch loss. But in this stretch where they go 5-1, when they had this 6-game road trip, and that's what they needed. And Aaron Judge was asked about it after the game, and he's like, should have been 6-0, and he's still upset about the one they even left out there. But Judge is having just something, I can't even say it's magical, because I felt like his rookie year was kind of magical because it was someone who actually had been called up the year before just for a little bit, and he kind of struggled. So you weren't really sure what to expect from Aaron Judge. And then obviously he's the American League Rookie of the Year, and it was an excellent season. This is like the Aaron Judge you always knew he could be if he could just stay healthy. And he's done that. And I thought last night, not just the home run where he was just like, giving the Blue Jays back what they had done the night before. They jumped all over Garrett Cole and their ace, so we're going to jump all over your ace. And Aaron Judge sets the tone. I thought the catch that he makes in the second inning, I know it was early in the game and there was still a lot of ball game left, but I thought that was another that's Aaron Judge, right? He said all season he had to be a smarter baseball player when he's playing defense. You can't dive for every ball, don't want to get hurt. But that was the moment where you had to lay out, sacrifice everything. I feel like A-Rod now. Sacrifice everything, and he did it. And it was an incredible catch, and he's just so impactful. And then a second home run to retake the lead. Just
Maggie's
wild.
The best position player in New York.
Yes.
That's what Judge is. I mean, and I know you could throw DeGrom into the mix when he's healthy. He's not better than Jacob DeGrom, as brilliant as DeGrom is, because he's the best pitcher in the entire world, right? Best pitcher in Major League Baseball. But
position player, you're right.
When he's right, I don't really think it's close. Like there's nobody on the Mets, and I don't think there's anybody on the Yankees. Even as good as Stanton has been, he's not what Judge is, because Judge is a better defensive player. And that's where you got into the conversation earlier in the week about the contract and will he get paid? How much will the Yankees have to pay him? He's an older guy as well, right? You're not looking at Aaron Judge at 24, 25. He's 29 years old. So that's going to factor into the contract that he gets. But this is the whole frustrating aspect with Judge has always been about availability. Mm-hmm. We always thought he was great. And when Judge has been available, Judge has been able to stay healthy the majority of the season, has been there. And when he is right, he is a difference maker, and he's the best position player in all of New York.
It's fun to watch him. And you can tell, I was reading this cool, like, kind of mini profile that they have of him on The Athletic today. And one of the things that he said is, he gets a lot of time in right field to sort of think about things. He gets locked in for every at-bat. But, like, in between pitches, he's got a lot of time to hear what the fans are saying. And he said he looks around and he sees the banner from '09. It makes him upset, makes him angry, because he feels like he's been here too long to not have his own to put up on the wall, to put up in the stadium. So listen, he's saying all the right things. Here's my biggest thing about the heat check now for Judge and Stanton. We're going to get a test of that heat check. Now, Judge, it's been a great season for both of them. But what I mean by heat check is that these two guys have not done well offensively against the Tampa Bay Rays. This has not been offensively. They don't have great numbers against Tampa Bay. Judge has got 1 home run this year with 4 RBIs and 15 strikeouts. Stanton against Tampa Bay, 2 home runs, 5 RBI, 25 strikeouts. How much can they lock in on this Tampa Bay staff, and how much can they make an impact? Because up until this season, Tampa has held these two guys totally in check. Can they change that in the final 3 games of the year?
You would hope you'd have to.
They're going to have to.
You think that they can continue. Now, I don't know. I mean, last 8 of the last 9. Buster only had this. Think about this. You look at Judge, 8 of the last 9 games, 345, 447, 862. He's got 4 homers and 12 RBIs. Then when you look at Stanton, 333, 395 on base, 848. He's got 5 homers and 16 RBIs as the Yankees have won 8 of their last 9. That's only throwing that stat out there a couple hours ago. It's remarkable. And, now the Yankees came into this 9-game stretch. You said, well, if they're going to prove it, they got to show it. And they're showing it. They've won 5 of 6 in this stretch. Let's take the Rangers sweep out of it, right? Look at this stretch when it started last Friday night up at Fenway Park. Now it's the ultimate test because it's the Rays. It's Yankee Stadium. It gets going tonight. You've got Nestor Cortez on the mound tonight. The Yankees are feeling their oats a little bit. They've got a 2-game lead in that wild card spot, but it's the team it's the team that has been there, that basically haunts Brian Cashman, that haunts Hal Steinbrenner, that has haunted this Yankee team because all they do is know how to win. And once again, they've won the American League East, a team that Cashman came out after last year. They got eliminated in the divisional round and said they're just a better baseball team. That's the team that's standing in the way for this Yankees. So they've got one more mountain to climb this weekend at Yankee Stadium because it's an organization that has owned them.
It can only be this way, right? I mean, especially with this season for the Yankees where nothing has come easy for them at all. And it's so funny because they're talking about how they live for these moments and how, this has been their, they've been so good over this stretch when they really needed the most. And I'm like, man, what were they, just bored like the rest of the season? We talked about that at one point when they were struggling. I'm like, it's not your God-given right to make the playoffs every year. Like, I wonder if they just sort of... I don't know. Maybe there is something about needing to have everything on the line that has obviously brought out the best in this group. So we're going to see if they can finish the job. I mean, easy clinching scenario for tonight. They can clinch if they win tonight and Boston or Seattle loses. I don't want to get maybe all bogged down with all the scenarios, but if you're looking for the easiest way, the easy path, you clinch the wild card tonight if you win and either of those team loses tonight.
The magic number going into tonight is 2. Couple of things for the Yankees here. IL for Luke Voigt dealing with the knee.
Yeah.
Gallo's dealing with an issue after getting hit on the wrist and the hand the night before. So Gallo was not in the lineup last night. But from a player perspective wise here, and I know the infield defense is not great, Gleyber Torres has become unlocked once again.
How about
offensively.
That?
He is, and the big 2-run home run, you heard it from Sterling last night, and people might say, well, what are you going to do? Why are you going to move around this defense? You look at the drop pops, and you had one last night by Rizzo overrunning the ball in foul ground. You saw that, but I'm more specifically talking about the left side of the infield with LeMahieu and Gio Urshela and Gallo. We've seen a couple misplays, whether it be Toronto or whether it be up at Fenway Park. The reason why is you look at Gleyber, he just looks like a completely different hitter now at second base as compared to where he was at shortstop. And that's what's, Maggie, that's what's going to make Gleyber Torres special, is what he does offensively. That really is. You're going to get, he's a better defensive second baseman. By no stretch of the imagination is he Joe Morgan or Robbie Alomar at second base, right? He's not that caliber of defensive player. But what he can do and what he can provide is the offense. He had 3 hits 2 nights ago. He had the big home run last night to lengthen out that lead into the second deck up there in Toronto. He has become the hitter that we saw a couple years ago when he hit 38 home runs. He's not all the way back, but he clearly looks a lot better now at second than he ever did at shortstop offensively.
And I was looking back at just the numbers because 16 games for Gleyber Kluber since he moved to second. So we're going back to just September 13th. And I just wanted to see, I'm just curious about the slugging, because that has just not been. It's like a 475. I mean, it's just so much better than where it was. His OPS 869, the on-base percentage 394. It's just everything is better. Every single metric is better. But here's what I'm curious about from the fan point of view.
Yeah.
Are you confident or are you tight? Because you have a reason to be confident, but it's the Rays.
I'm nervous.
Okay. Team's talking very confidently.
I agree.
I mean, you want them to be talking confidently.
I would hope so. I hope they're not I hope they don't go into this week and be like, I'm not so sure. It is Tampa after all. They do own us, right?
Guys,
I'm
the
nervous.
Letterman pulling his collar out.
I was right. Last night, I was nervous getting ready for that game, getting ready to watch that game last night because it's Kluber on the mound after what we saw the night before.
How does he face Vlad the third time through?
I don't know.
We can get into some.
That's where you get into
some nitpicks here.
So
but
I'm nervous, but you know what? I'm a happy Yankee fan. Wake up this morning, I'm a happy Yankee fan. By the way, the tweets last night, and we went on and tore apart Cole yesterday,
yes,
right?
We did.
So, after Ray gets knocked out of the game, well, Maggie and I don't do Toronto sports radio, so do you want me to come on the airwaves and absolutely crucify Robbie Ray this morning?
Oh, were people asking for that?
Yeah, be like, you got to be just as critical on Ray as you were on Garrett Cole. Listen, the Yankees got to him. It's great. It's unbelievable. I don't understand why he's still in the game after Judge hits the home run.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. That was a managerial gaffe on the Toronto side of the things. I'm not telling you that Robbie Ray is Jacob deGrom. I'm just telling you I think he's the favorite, and he is the betting favorite right now to win the Cy Young Award. I mean, you would have thought that I was saying something outlandish, that Garrett Cole's not the same guy that he was in 2019. Just look at the stats. His ERA has been over 4 for the last 3 months. I mean, what are we doing here? Yankee fans, don't be so sensitive. It is what it is.
I just think it's funny, so we're supposed to come on and we're going to rip Robbie Ray when we were running ads earlier this week that called him Robin. We don't really care about Robbie Ray.
Yes.
I can't muster the energy to talk about Robbie Ray.
No, but it's just the case of, I'm happy the Yankees got to him. Yes, I was nervous. I don't think there's a Yankee fan that looked at that game last night and said, well, you know what? Robbie Ray against Corey Kluber. I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
Kluber, I even when he was happening, it was almost what numbers tell you that Kluber should face Vlad the third time through? And not only that, then you get David Cohn ripping the idea on the broadcast, not just the idea, but then inside the at-bat saying, why are you throwing him a fastball and a changeup when your best pitch is a curveball? It didn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't matter because the Yankees got themselves out of it and they leave with a win. And, Vlad misses a 2-run home run by maybe 4 inches. Maybe.
Yeah, it is, Maggie. It is. They're gonna have to overcome. There's some gaffes by Boone in the dugout where you scratch your head.
Well, this is what I get worried about a little bit for the Yankees. Don't outray the Rays. That should be on a T-shirt. Don't outray the Rays because we said that so much after the ALDS last year. But don't do that in these last 3 games. But a little bit more urgency to get Kluber out of that game, please.
I agree. You've gotten what you've got. Plus, now you have an unbelievable wealth of arms in the bullpen.
Yeah, they're all good. And it's not like Kluber was bad. He was just putting guys on base.
Yes. 10-18. Moose and Maggie with you. How you feeling if you're a Yankee fan on this Friday? 2 games up in the wild card. The Rays coming to town. 5-1 road trip. They won 8 of their last 9. Judge doing his thing. Stanton doing his. Glaber's back to being Glaber. Torres once again as well. As the Yankees' magic number on this Friday is 2 for Derek Jeter. You
can get your jersey out, but you'll be accused of
it all comes back to number 2. Right. Nobody's ripping Jeter now for the stand.
Yeah, you can't be a fan of Jeter unless you're a groupie. I didn't know that one existed.
I want to hear from you. 877-337-6666.